I'm holding my heart right now. I'm holding my heart right now. Welcome to this Thursday edition of First Take. Your boys in the house hosting, okay? And usually I'm going to throw my new rules out there to make sure people are respectful and they understand speak when spoken to and who the boss is. But I gotta veer left here. Not because my man RC's in the house pivoting over here in the First Take. Not because Dan Orlovsky was in the bathroom changing his damn wardrobe because he knew that what he was wearing on Get Up would be unsatisfactory for First Take. But also, stop the presses. Mina Kern, Mina, in the building. Yeah. In the building. It is our honor and privilege to have you. How are you, Mina?
I'm so happy to be here.
We're happy to have you. We're happy to have you. Excuse me, watch your mouth, watch your tone, watch your manners. I'm telling you that right now, Dio. I'm telling you that right now, all right? We got a whole bunch of stuff to get to. Let's get right to it, all right? After a messy public contract negotiation and eventual trade to the Green Bay Packers, Micah Parsons is making his much anticipated return to Dallas on Sunday, and he spoke yesterday on how he thinks he will be received in Jerry's world. Take a listen.
You know, I think Dallas loves me. You know, I think they're going to give me a good round of applause, and you know, there's no hard feelings there, at least for me, and I think it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be a great atmosphere. I think, you know, this is some of the best football you're going to get in Dallas on this Sunday night against, you know, a rivalry opponent.
I'm almost afraid to go to Dan first, but I will. How do you think, Micah, how do you think fans should respond to Micah's return?
I literally don't care. Boo him if you want to boo him. Micah should be thanking the Cowboys for what they did to him. Right. They got him out of there. They're not a good football team. And they got him $150+ million, however much.
188.
If the fans want to boo him. I really don't have a strong feeling on this side. If you want to cheer him, cheer him. If you want to boo him, have at it.
Okay.
Man, for me, I'm fired up because they had a tribute talk. There was actually a conversation that came out that said they were not going to do a tribute video for Micah. Duh. This ain't basketball.
Right.
You know what happened the last time Dallas traded a star and they did a tribute video? Luka dropped 45 and they beat him by dang near 20 points. Right. Yeah. If I was the Dallas Cowboys, I would have Micah clown shirts on every seat. And I would have a shirt that says, I hope your beard never connects and you keep going bald. Wow. I would absolutely crush him. You know why?
Why?
Because you got to make him hate him because your team sucks. Yeah. I can't believe he doesn't care.
I don't care.
And you didn't even catch what he said.
Just the specificity of the details that you drop makes me wondering about you.
Steve, he said, this is the best football you're going to see in Dallas. And he had to catch himself. Because you know why he said that? Because Green Bay was going because he knew that Dallas wasn't going to see no good football all damn year.
Ryan.
That's true. Go ahead, man.
You paint a very vivid picture.
Very vivid.
That's not going to happen. Here's what's going to happen. By halftime, they're going to be booing Jerry Jones. Dallas fans aren't stupid.
Yeah.
They know why Micah Parsons is gone, and they know that the product on the field, which has been god-awful, is because of the decisions that Jerry Jones made. Right now, the Cowboys defense is allowing a QBR of 80. That's the worst in the NFL. To put that in perspective, Lamar's 78, Josh Allen's 75. They're making everyone who plays them better than Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. And there's only one person to blame for this. It's Jerry Jones. It was the most predictable outcome that the defense would fall apart. Because when Micah Parsons didn't play while he was on the team, the defense fell apart. This was no mystery. If I'm a Cowboys fan, I'm furious at Jerry Jones. There is no doubt in my mind that Micah Parsons is going to come back, ball out, and the fans are going to turn on Jerry.
You should be able to ball out against this Dallas Cowboy team if you're Micah Parsons. You really should. With the help that you have on the defensive side of the ball with Green Bay fresh off a defeat in Cleveland, okay, you should really have a field day. The only part that I will accuse y'all are forgetting how delusional they are. Now, I understand how you're feeling about Jerry Jones, but we all know they're going to roll up in there thinking, we're going to win this game. We're going to win this game. That's how they think.
I don't think Cowboys.
You don't know them like I know them. You don't know them like I know them.
I think Cowboys fans want Micah to get 4 sacks and 300 yards rushing.
I'm not saying reality will hit by halftime. I understand that. I'm talking about walking into the game. I'm talking about when you're driving to Jerry World. I'm talking about when you got to park. I'm talking about when you're tailgating. I'm talking about those things. Oh, they're going to be like, oh, we're going to win this game. What do we do? We're going to win this game. Delusional.
They're not going to believe that. Because you know how Micah Parsons could guarantee that he has a phenomenal game?
Showing
if he played quarterback. If he goes and plays quarterback for Green Bay, he's going to have a phenomenal game. Because every quarterback that plays against the Dallas Cowboys, Russell Wilson, 2 weeks ago, Russell Wilson, who's no longer the starting quarterback, had 450. Like, those fans should lose their mind the minute the game starts.
To me, here's what would make it worse. And let's ask this question. What is the worst possible scenario? I believe I have the answer, but I'll give it to you first. Go ahead.
Micah gets 3 sacks and they give up 250 yards rushing.
Yes, it's the run defense. Yes, 100%.
I don't even think you have to go to the 250 yards rushing. I'm thinking if Micah gets like 3 or 4 sacks and the Dallas's passing game is completely terrorized because you can't protect the quarterback, that would be the nightmare. The running, they gave up rushing to everybody.
But they say that's how they got better.
Right. Yeah, every time they have like a 10-yard run, the camera's going to cut to Jerry Jones. Mr. Kenny Clark's going to solve our run defense.
Yes,
that is what's good. You're totally right.
It's the lack of the justification of the trade, or at least in their words, the reasoning was, well, we got better.
They ain't listening to that. They're looking at Micah Parsons being gone, and if that brother gets at Dak Prescott frequently,
he will.
That is going to be the nightmare.
The worst case scenario is that the Dallas Cowboys show up as the exact team Jerry Jones constructed. That's the worst case scenario. That they show up and they can't get pressure on the quarterback. That they show up and they can't run the football. That they show up and they get blown out. If that's who they show up as, because that's the team that Jerry Jones has constructed, that's the worst case scenario, because that team gets blown out. That team doesn't block Micah Parsons. That team doesn't block Rashawn Gary. That team doesn't block Lucas Van Ness. And if you get that, then that's exactly what they deserve.
Also, if the Packers go on and end up NFC title game, like the game again, 3 sacks, 250, those first-round picks because of the trade, you're basically taking an early second-round pick.
Which is nothing.
Yeah, that's worst-case scenario.
Is there any kind of scenario you see, Mina, that Jerry Jones could end up walking away with a smile Sunday evening? I mean, is there anything?
If they had CeeDee Lamb, might be a little bit more optimistic about the offense. But, I mean, this Packers defense is one of the 2 or 3 best in the NFL, and I think they're going to look like it. Without CeeDee Lamb, the entire premise of this Cowboys offense is we've got 2 number 1 wide receivers. Defenses have to play shell. We get to run the ball underneath. You take out CeeDee Lamb, that equation looks very different.
I have to confess to you, I was just asking the question just for my own. I mean, we all know the answer. It was just fun to throw that out there.
He absolutely is going to smile.
Just to make that.
Jerry Jones is going to smile. I guarantee you, by 12 noon Eastern time on Monday, Jerry Jones will be in his office. One, because that's whenever the ratings come out, or they say how many people watch the game. It's going to be a huge rating. And you know what you're going to talk about for half the show on Monday?
What?
The Dallas Cowboys. And Jerry Jones is going to be able to sit in his office and he's going to be like, yeah, we suck, but they still talking about us.
But they're not we're not going to be talking about them in like 2 weeks when they're no longer relevant.
I will say this to you. I will say this, and I'll end this segment by saying this. I reckon you're right. Giants' first-round pick, Jaxson Dart, was named the starter for the remainder of the season, replacing Russell Wilson. Dart will make the first start of his NFL career against the undefeated Los Angeles Chargers. But he is not feeling any type of pressure, so he says. Take a listen.
I don't really feel pressure. I feel like, pressure is given to those who play at a high level. And, the best players in the world are the ones that you are kind of involved with that word pressure. Yeah, you just got to make sure that you're prepared every day because, just the questions and, the situations that are being put on the quarterback. When you're watching film, you got to know exactly what you're talking about. You got to be on your, point blank period. So.
Usually I don't like going to you first, but I'll do it again because you are the resident quarterback on the panel this morning. How much pressure is on Dart to ball out right away?
A ton. He's got to be the savior. He's got to save the head coach. He's got to save the general manager. He's got to save the organization. Giants have been a laughingstock for the better part of 10 years. They took him in the first round. Go back to draft night, and Brian Daboll saying to him, like, I'm trusting you, like, you're my guy. Dart's got to be the guy that saves the job. And I think that's the challenge is we all know this business. Everybody knows that the expectations are high and coaches have to win. It's not, I've heard people say, well, he's got to play well to save his job. No, he doesn't. He has to play well and win. They're not going to keep Brian Daboll if Jaxson Dart looks good. He has to look good, and they're going to have to find a way to sniff 500 football in the next 14 weeks. So there's a ton of pressure on him to outperform a Mitchell Trubisky with John Fox, a Will Levis with a Mike Vrabel, a Jared Goff with a Jeff Fox.
Yes.
Like there is a ton of pressure for him to go play well.
Mina?
I think the fact that they made this move so early adds to that pressure. Like if this was week 10, week 12, and they were doing it and people weren't watching the Giants as much, and it was like, well, we really tried with Russell Wilson, but this move now does increase the pressure to win. And like I can say to you, hey, let's all be reasonable. It's not a good offensive line. Andrew Thomas is back, coming back from injury. Yeah. The offense is flawed. They're going up against the Chargers, who are one of the past defense. But that's just not how it works in the NFL. There is pressure to win. From my perspective, what I would want to see, just that he looks prepared and doesn't panic this week, and then he balls out against the Saints. That would be the expectation. Any expectation of him going crazy against the Chargers, I think, is unfair. But he should look prepared. That's what you want to see.
RC?
I love Jaxson Dart's demeanor. I think Jaxson Dart is incredibly talented as well. And you can see that this moment, at least it doesn't feel too big for him. But I don't think he has any pressure on him. Can't nobody else that play quarterback. Right? Like, we know now, and I love Russell Wilson. We know now that Russell Wilson isn't the answer. And if you continue to play Russell Wilson, you're going to lose your best player in Malik Neighbors. Right? So you have to figure out a way to try to say, how do we salvage that relationship? How do we make one of the most talented players in the world show those things with the process and the progress and the production on Sundays, right? You got to do that part. What he said, they finna get the ball to one, right? They gonna figure that out. And the other piece of it is, to me, like, it ain't his job to go save Brian Daboll's job. It ain't his job to go save the organization. It's Jaxson Dart's job to go be the best Jaxson Dart.
Yeah, but that's not real.
But the other piece of it is too, though, like from us, we got to be responsible the way Mina's talking about being responsible with who they play this week. And like, also, can I invoke a new rule? Please.
That's a big deal.
Okay.
That I'm allowing you to invoke a rule.
So much.
You should be thankful.
Wait to hear it first.
You're right. Go ahead.
Let's stop saying that Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers waited to play. Let's stop comparing.
I'm with you on this.
Let's stop comparing quarterback. Because you know what?
Or Jordan Love.
Had they played early, them motor scooters still would have been really good because they're extremely talented and they were in good positions.
Also, the quarterbacks who did play were great. People always forget that. Alex Smith was excellent that season. Everyone forgets that. That is not what is going on.
Right, and so I hate that. Like, the other piece of it is too, like, maybe compare him to Eli. He played behind Kurt Warner. Maybe compare him to Phillip Rivers, who played behind Drew Brees. But like, let's stop using those dudes as the benchmark for why people should sit. Maybe Jaxson Dart should be playing.
First of all, this is their fifth different starting quarterback since last season. Let's get that out of the way to show you what kind of chaos exists with the New York Giants. Secondly, as I reminded the world just yesterday, I don't know why I have to keep reminding them of this. Since the Giants won the Super Bowl in 2011, they've been to the playoffs twice. They've had a winning record 3 times. That is horrible. This is a horrible, horrible organization right now. It's just the truth. It's just the truth. Don't look at me like that, RC. It's just the truth, okay? They're not good. They're not good. So now here we are with Jaxson Dart, right? Hold on. Here we are with Jaxson Dart, right?
You're proving my point.
Ryan is absolutely right that it's not his job to save Brian Daboll's job. Here's what I will tell you his job is, though. It is to do, to some degree, what Mina pointed out. To go out there, play well. Against the Saints, you should be able to look relatively decent. Chargers, maybe not so much. It would be nice if he does this. Here's the thing. If you go out there and you're good enough to give hope, because that's what this is all about right now. This is week 4.
It's not going to save his job.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is, from an organizational perspective, you haven't given the crowd anything to cheer about. They're going to start wearing bags soon. I know New York, even though it's East Rutherford, New Jersey, it's swamp. It's close enough. I know New York.
But what's the point of saying that?
They're going to start wearing bags over their head. You're going to see. It's not an accident that half the fans in MetLife Stadium were from Kansas City. People got other things to do rather than walk out and see trash. They're not going to do it. But that's what he has to make sure he doesn't provide.
No. Guys, we all know how this league works, man.
Okay.
Him going out and looking good is not going to change the outlook of the organization of the future when it comes to the job of the general manager and head coach. I love Brian Dable.
I agree
I'm
with
rooting
that.
for him.
Yeah.
They got to win. Eli started halfway through the season. Eli went 4-4. Okay, here's my pushback to the whole, it's not his job to save his job. I understand that. We both know it's real. All of us know that the head coach and his future is directly tied to, can you get that young man to play good and can you win football games? And I totally disagree that there's not an expectation that he can go revitalize and save the organization. It just happened last year in the division. If we're going to sit here and say that Giants have been a joke over the last 10 years, so is the Washington one until Jaden Daniels got there, and now they got new stadiums, and now they got people to go there. Shoot, I'll go 5 or 6 years ago to Cleveland. That was the worst North American professional sports league or team in the North America. They draft Baker Mayfield. All of a sudden, there's hope. So we do have evidence that these young quarterbacks can flip bad places, and there's expectation that you should.
Go ahead.
Nobody sees him like that, though, right? Like when you yourself, and I trust you in analyzing and evaluating quarterbacks more than anybody. You thought Jaden Daniels was like that.
You really do trust Dan like that? I don't trust his objectivity. They can't trust him.
If it's not Matthew Stafford, he's
that's
straight.
what I'm talking about. That's where I was going.
If it's not Matthew
you can't
Stafford,
trust
he's
him when it
straight.
comes to Matthew Stafford. Okay.
You knew Jaden Daniels was like that.
Yes.
We felt Baker Mayfield was like that. We were having conversations about whether or not Jaxson Dart would be a first-round pick. Would somebody move back up and get him? Jaxson Dart is not the savior. And I think that's the – and the other thing is this. Here's what, to me, he has on his side that's different than what Caleb has, different than what Jaden has, right? Different than what these guys who go early have. We got to see that they're terrible.
Yeah.
A lot of times they start week 1 and you're expecting them to be that lift right away. We know they can't play.
Yeah.
He's a first rounder, Ryan. We can intellectually say, okay, the top of the draft success rate versus the bottom half of the first round is dramatic. It's honestly very rare for quarterbacks taken late in the first round to have success.
Yeah.
We can say that. We can intellectualize
Lamar's
it.
like the outlier.
That's not how teams think. That's not how fans think.
Yeah.